Bad Robot!
Coming in 2015, the epic saga continues with Star Wars Episode 7. Reprising his role as Han Solo, Harrison Ford.
What did you do to it? Do something! Fix it!
Yeah, I can't, there's nothing.
Also reprising his role as Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill. You knew this day would come.
No! Please don't hit me!
And returning as the enchanting Princess Leia, Carrie Fisher.
Your Highness, Princess Leia, dinner is served.
Yeah, she's fat. The epic journey continues in 2015. May the Force be with you.
Warning from the Bacta tank contains adult language and discussions. If you're easily offended, do not continue.
We would be honored if you would join us.
How are you feeling? The latest workups on your condition indicate that all damage has been reversed. Recovery is total. I believe you have been quite fortunate. No further thanks are necessary, Commander, but you are most welcome. It is my function and pleasure as a medical droid to help and heal human beings.
I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
All right, this is From the Bacta Tank. Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning to you all. Whatever time of the day you're listening to this show, I want to wish you all the very best. How you doing today, David Sabal, over there way far away from me?
The Force is strong in this one.
Is this the closest apart we've actually produced two shows?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you're all the way in the Dagobah system over there.
No, I mean actual, like we did show 5, like last month.
Oh, no, yeah, you're right.
We've always waited 3 or 4 months.
3 or 4 months.
Of course, we have Dustin Lucas on the line from Florida. How you doing, Dustin?
Hello there.
Hello. And then we have a newbie, Nick. How do you pronounce your last name, Nick?
La Rovere.
In the mic.
La Rovere.
Louder.
La Rovere.
Don't worry, he'll catch on.
You know what's funny? It's funny because everybody, you can always tell when someone's new. You're going to hear me say in the mic because you're not the only one, Nick. Every time we bring in new people, we're like in the mic because they don't realize that they actually have to be in the mic. Unless you're on a good, a really expensive microphone like David's on or myself, eventually we'll get you to that point.
Don't worry, you'll become a veteran, dude.
I'll get you a nice microphone.
Rock on.
As long as you don't go to the military, as you were saying.
Oh, okay, so that's conditional.
If you don't go to the military, you just throw away all your plans in life, I'll get you a nice, shiny microphone.
I could probably swing something.
Oh, man.
So, this is the first time, I would think, in a long time that we actually have a lot of news to actually discuss.
Yeah, scary, isn't it?
Fantastic.
We've never had this much news since we started the show. I mean, we had J.J. Abrams being confirmed finally, and we had some Star Wars Rebels news. But I'm really excited because I went into this show, last year when we started with a negative attitude towards Star Wars. But because I love Star Wars. But Nick, you're very young, so we're jaded, dude. I'm 34 years old. I'm burnt out on Star Wars and some of the things they've done to us.
Oh, I see.
I'm one of those.
I've heard some stuff.
Yeah, I'm one of those.
People.
See, there's new hope. There's new hope with Nick's generation.
There's new hope.
Yeah. So, well, you know what? Really fast before we jump into it, Nick, because you're a young man, you're 19 years old.
Yes, sir.
Now, what is your interpretation of the difference between the old movies and the new ones? Because obviously you grew up with the new ones, with the prequel, not the old ones. So how do you look at the differences between them? What's your quick thought process on it?
Well,
the mic though, in the mic.
Yeah, in the mic. Well, that's a hard question because I recently, as of the past 2 years, have been doing filmmaking.
Yeah.
So my view of things is completely skewed now. I mean, I can't,
you're a film guy, so you're going to like the older ones better.
Well, I mean, there's some things about the new ones that are good, and some things that a lot of things that are good,
like
about the
what
old ones. But well, I mean,
like what?
It's hard for me to say because I've watched the new ones more than I've watched the old ones.
Yeah.
And so I don't have as much experience with that as I'd like to. But,
I get it.
It's like.
But you're saying you have a skewed view because number one, you're from a film. You're a film guy,
right.
So you automatically look at the older ones a little bit higher quality.
Yeah, and as far as acting and story,
Yeah.
because older movies they have to rely on that because there were no crazy visual effects and computer graphics, so they couldn't hinge the entire movie based on that. Like Episode 3, there's some,
Exactly. So we're going to talk about that a little bit more too, the differences, and actually jump into some of the filmmaking side of things that J.J. Abrams is doing, because he's bringing back, which is making a lot of people have faith. The people who were kind of on the fence with, I don't know if I like that J.J.'s doing, I don't know if I want Disney to do this, yada, 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 because, I don't want them ruining our dream or our childhood. But people are jumping off the fence and starting to get a little more curious because JJ is doing a lot of practical effects. He's getting rid of a lot of the CGI and bringing back some of the old school effects.
Oh, yeah. Well, because it's like kind of like if you looked at Star Trek, that's what he did. We talked about it in the past in the last show.
Yeah.
How he literally would build sets. He didn't rely on CGI. That forest in Star Trek was completely made.
Amazing.
And it was amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. Did you know that, Nick? That did you see Star Trek Into Darkness?
I did.
The opening intro, where they're running from that Native American culture, like
right.
Okay, that's built.
The woods and, wow.
That was built. That
Native
was
American
CGI.
culture.
Yeah, I like to call it Native American. Hey, listen, Nick understood where I was coming from.
I got what he meant.
Knew what I meant. Maybe I should have said indigenous. There we go.
There you go.
Oh man, pre-warp drive indigenous culture. There we go.
There we go.
So anyways, we do have a lot to cover. We're going to jump into some additional casting news that's been announced since the last show. Harrison Ford breaking his leg, which is throwing off the production. Some Star Wars related video game news, which is huge. Star Wars standalone news, plus a chance to be in Star Wars Episode 7, which is getting a lot of people excited. There are going to be some format changes. Let's jump into that really fast for all you ongoing listeners. We are going to kind of, I guess, trim the fat of the show and get down to the basics. We will have some produced bits as well, still the ones you've come to love. However, we're streamlining it down. We're gonna make it a more well-oiled machine so we can do more shows. Because right now, none of us have time to put in 40, 50 hours a week on producing, comedy bits. Right, Dustin? You don't have that time?
No.
What, you mean in between, building a studio and learning the mathematics of sound design? You don't have time?
Dude, I'm kind of a retard. You gotta. I need more time to make computations.
Yeah. So out of all the news and the updates that we're getting, what do you guys think is the most exciting? I want to go around the room. Out of everything we've heard, even if you're jumping ahead on the show notes, who cares? We won't discuss it in depth, but I want to hear from you, David. What is the most exciting thing you think that's coming out of all the Star Wars news lately?
Star Wars news, as funny as it sounds, the Harrison Ford breaking his leg.
You're excited about him breaking his leg?
Well, no. How epic is how he broke his leg?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, the fact of the matter is, he broke his leg on an actual Millennium Falcon.
Well, George Lucas is like, well, this is why I do CGI, because no CGI, blast door is going to break anybody's leg.
Exactly. It's literally showing that they're doing the practical effects. We will see a actually built Millennium Falcon set.
Yeah.
And I was like thinking about it. I felt bad because Harrison Ford hurt himself, but I'm like going, how great is that? Is that JJ is actually doing all the practical effects to that point where people have to walk through sets and actually you have an accident happen like that.
Dustin, what about you, man? What's your most exciting thing?
I actually agree with that. I saw the leaked, quote unquote, I'm doing air quotes right now, the TMZ photos of all the practical sets, like all the props and everything, the giant creature and the Millennium Falcon, and man, that just blows me away. I mean, even JJ coming on and doing that ad for if you want to be in Star Wars, he had, actual, props in the background, and that was so amazing. Instead of him standing in front of a green screen, having no idea what the hell he's looking at or any of us are looking at. So I'm pretty stoked about that.
How weird is that, too, is like, George Lucas did all CGI, and we're like going gaga over what JJ's doing, which is the complete opposite.
Well, because I don't have a problem, and we can jump into this. We can actually discuss this later in the show. But I do agree with the practical effects being something cool. However, I'm a fan of CGI. I like visual effects, but I think there needs to be a medium. There needs to be like, hey, listen, let's not do too much. And I think George Lucas got a little towards the end. He got a little too, effects happy. Like, well, if you look at the fight scene of at Mustafar, the entire thing is in blue screen. Yeah. The entire thing. Ewan McGregor is such a phenomenal actor, but then for some reason he's a poor actor in these movies. He can't even, deliver a line. It may have to be, people don't realize that it takes an additional talent to be able to deliver lines and act when there's nothing around you.
Right, yeah. And I think that definitely being immersed in the set and the costumes and the characters actually in the background is that really lets an actor get into character and feel like they really are that character. But when there's nothing really around you, it's all green screen or blue screen.
You're looking at a tennis ball. Yeah. That's what they tell you to do. Look at here. Right. The tennis ball here, this is really a scary lava. Lava's going to get you. Try not to touch the tennis balls, Ewan McGregor.
Hot lava.
Okay, Nick, what do you think is the most exciting thing out of all the Star Wars news we're getting lately?
Jeez, well, I love the practical effects thing, and I agree with you. You said a good mix of practical and visual effects is always good. But as far as news goes, I'm always excited to see what new video games they're going to bust out because, I mean, I've always been a pretty big gamer, but I really, when it comes down to it, I really love a good story, and it's interesting for them to be able to explore more of the Star Wars universe through these game platforms, whether it be an RPG or whatever, and just explore a different side of things and try something new. Even the Force Unleashed was it was all right, but it's just cool to see a different side of the story. And
for sure, and that's something about video games that are just awesome. They're more and more being story driven, more than ever. They're focusing. You're getting top notch writers writing for these video games. You're getting film. It's no longer like you're getting filmmakers. A lot of these guys are now doing video games. I mean, in fact, we're going to get into the process of Battlefront 3, which was announced towards the end of the show. We're going to jump into that. I mean, and I have this video of what they did to make this game. They might as well be shooting a short film for Star Wars.
Pretty much.
That's what they might as well be doing. Now with the process that they're actually taking in to make these games, it's freaking phenomenal.
It's not only that. I mean, they get like big name actors now, actors and actresses to do the voice acting for all these new video games. I mean, they're becoming more popular than movies, in my opinion.
Well, it's a bigger business, dude. I mean, a movie. Think about it. A movie. What costs $300 million to make a big budget movie, and then maybe it might make its budget back. Maybe after you take in worldwide box office and all your streaming deals now and your rentals, your on demand deals. I mean, you might make a profit. One ticket is what, $9 unless you go see 3D. Okay, one video game is $65.
For video games, you got the length and story, you got the story development, character development of a TV show, and stuff like Walking Dead and Breaking Bad. All those
you have people get 8 hours. You can get 8 hours of gameplay.
Right? Yeah, and I'm going to get into that. And you've got the story and character development of a television show with the interactivity of a video game, which really gets somebody real involved in it. They're influencing what's going on, and then maybe your game takes 60. And now even some of these RPGs and stuff, 200 hours to beat the game. So you pay $60 for 200 hours of entertainment.
Yeah.
You pay $10 for a 2-hour movie.
You know what? I've never looked at it that way, but that's a good point. I mean, you're getting a more bang for your buck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why one of the I think it's Grand Theft Auto. That's like the highest grossing video game.
Grand Theft Auto 5.
And it made probably, I'd say, double or triple what a normal movie would make because so many people globally play it.
Yeah.
Let's see.
That's amazing. While you look that up, my most exciting thing, I think, for the Star Wars news is I would have to agree with you. It's not necessarily Harrison Ford breaking his leg, but it is that we're getting some awesome news from the set.
Yes.
My biggest fear was that JJ was going to do this whole closed door thing, like, hush. Harrison Ford is not in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon. We can't talk about it because we're going to reveal it in the movie, like he did with Star Trek.
Yes.
Just do something that Guillermo del Toro does and Peter Jackson, which is two of my favorite filmmakers when it comes to these big budget movies. is they do the diaries.
Yeah.
You know, they do the online diaries. They share. I mean, don't give away plot points. They share what they're doing, and that's why I'm excited that JJ is showing things on set. Just that picture that they took about last month of the entire cast, the black and white photo.
Oh yeah,
where they're
just
doing
the script.
Dude,
read?
I got chills. I was like, dude, that's so freaking
that's so
sweet,
cool.
dude. Just
Yeah, that was
everybody.
awesome.
It was all the producers, the cast. It was so good. But did you get that information, Nick?
Yeah, so Grand Theft Auto 5 is the number 6 top-grossing game of all time. Actually, number 1 is Tetris. But
Of course.
irrelevant.
Really? Tetris is huge.
Hey, man.
Dude.
But as far
Can't
as
go wrong with Tetris.
so Grand Theft Auto 5 is made $32.5 million, and that's released in 2013. It's only been out for a few months.
Yeah.
But so, and it didn't cost them anywhere near that to
Oh
make.
no,
I'm sure.
not at all.
You know,
I
and
mean, they're going to make way much more money than like a filmmaker making a movie.
Yeah, and plus these video games
Yeah.
go on forever. These franchises,
Oh, yeah.
and they just keep building, getting bigger and
more
bigger and
fans.
bigger. Yeah. On that note, we do need to go to a quick break. Don't go nowhere because Stormtrooper 1's getting fired. We'll be right back.
Cut. All right, guys. Let's try it again from the top. And action. Cut. Man, when they told me that I was going to be signing on Gwendolyn Christie to play Chewbacca's daughter, I didn't think she would suck so bad at it. That's not funny. You're fired, all right? You're fucking fired. Goodbye. Have a nice day.
It's just not working out. It's just not working out.
But everybody likes me.
But you know, you still have a job. We're firing you off we're firing you from the monologue, the beginning of the show. But we'll keep you on. You could do intermissions and be an announcer, you know, and introduce the breaks and stuff like that here and there if you choose to.
Jedi Master Yoda. You seek Yoda. Yoda. Clear your mind of questions. You must unlearn what you have learned.
Hello, we're back.
The Jedi's dream.
And we're stuck in the 80s. So many remixes online, dude.
I don't know if it's the Force or that Molly I just took, but wow. I'm kidding.
The colors.
All right. So Harrison Ford breaks his leg on set, possibly 8 weeks or more, they're saying, for recovery. Now, a lot of people are speculating that this may push the schedule of filming back, but I don't know if that's the case. I mean, how much? Think about think about on a small, just the stuff that we've done, small things. How much work's involved? How much you can do without having the actor
With
there?
one person.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Not there. Yeah.
Yes.
They'll shoot scenes around him.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
yeah.
And then when he's back, they'll go back to the scenes that they have to actually shoot with him.
Now, do you think a lot of people was like, do you think that the first thing I thought, and I'm going to be honest here, I love Harrison Ford, but the first thing I thought it was like his old ass. I was like, of course he's the one who first broke his leg.
Yeah. I was wondering which one of the oldies would go first. I was surprised it wasn't Carrie Fisher.
His name when the door closed on his.
He says, no, that's not it. The Hydrospanders. What if he did that?
Oh God, I wonder if he's like, ow! We'll laugh it up, fuzzball.
Oh, he's like, what was that? That's not an asteroid. It's so terrible, man. Oh, Jesus. So 8 weeks that he'll be MIA. recover. I guess they thought it was first it was like a fracture, then it was the ankle was broken, and then a few days later it was like his leg is just broken.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. The first report I heard of it was that his ankle was crushed. They said that Harrison Ford's ankle was crushed in a door. I was like, oh, it's over. It's done. There it is. And then how the media changes over time. Oh, well, he just kind of sprained it. Now you're telling me, oh, he broke his leg. Okay, well, he broke his hip. I guarantee it. He's an old man.
His hip too. Yeah.
Wait, did he?
No.
No. I'm saying I guarantee he probably broke his hip.
Well, at least
the news changes
8
their
weeks
mind.
is a long time, but if he's going to be up and running in 2 months and it broke his leg, it's not that bad.
But dude, how funny is that? Throughout all our shows, we've always been making fun of Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher being like the most out of shape, and it's the one guy that we all were like, okay, he can do this, and he breaks his leg.
Yeah. Well, I heard that Carrie Fisher actually died of obesity.
Yeah. Jesus. Well, I thought she was slated to play like Jabba's daughter or something.
I think that was going to be the ultimate reveal at the end. I think they're going to come out that this whole time she was actually related to the Hutts.
Oh my!
So stupid.
That's so rude. They can't really change the production date at this point. I mean,
they're so far into it.
Yeah, they're so far into. I mean, and also at this point, they probably have so many promotional tie-ins already on that date. The reason why I thought they might be pushing it back is only because they were already on a speedy schedule.
Yeah.
I mean, it was already, a year and a half that's coming out, pretty much?
Yeah, pretty much. And the thing was, it's like slated to go right against, I think it's The Hobbit. The Hobbit.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's the same weekend that Star Wars comes out, Hobbit comes
Wait,
out.
no, Hobbit should be done by then. Doesn't the next Hobbit movie come out
Because
next?
I read a thing about the delay in release, the possible delay in release.
Uh-huh.
And it was like in the article, the reporter actually put that they specifically wanted to put Star Wars against The Hobbit the first weekend.
Huh. Really? Pit them against
each other.
That's interesting.
Wow.
Why would they do that?
Star Wars would win, obviously.
Yeah, they would win, but that's why? I mean, why only
be like a geek
why
holiday.
only take 100 million when you can take 200 million?
It's a geek
war.
But think about it. It become like the ultimate geek weekend holiday. Everyone's going to want to take it off.
They're going to make it a national holiday.
Yeah, it become a national holiday.
Great, another Comic-Con. New casting as well. We announced... David, do you have that up? Do you mind going through the cast when we get to that? I want to talk about the complete cast list that we kind of already breezed through last show.
Okay.
But there's the new casting. A couple people, and I'm going to mess these names up, I know. Lupita Nyong'o. Wanawanga Waigo.
Wanawanga. I believe it's Lupita Nyong'o.
Oh man.
How do you pronounce it?
I think it's Lupita Nyong'o.
Okay, Lupita Nyong'o and Gwendolyn Christie joined the cast. The 12 Years Slave Oscar winner and the Game of Thrones star are the latest recruits. I don't really care about Lupita, but I'm pretty psyched about Gwendolyn Christie, I should say. She's pretty cool. Like, she's kind of won me over in Game of Thrones. She's one of my favorite characters because, like, she's a tough biatch, dude. Like, she gets beat down. The fact that she took out the Mountain. What is the name? The Hound. The Hound.
Yeah.
On the season finale. I mean, dude, she's a.
I haven't got that far.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
Don't worry.
I'm
You didn't
taking
go
a
into
hiatus.
detail.
But she really, I love it, and I love her, and I'm really anxious. I was actually curious to see if her career would take off, and I'm hoping this will help her. I'm really interested to see what she plays. It would be really cool to see her play something dark and sinister.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, she has that look that she could possibly be a bad guy. I mean, Dustin, you're all about her. I mean, you like her. Like, what do you think?
Oh, I love her, and I'm pretty sure she'll probably play either Chewbacca's daughter or wife.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
She's so damn tall. She could play an AT-AT.
Oh, my God.
Oh, man. That's horrible. Anyways, so they join, I should say, the list of already. Do you have that list in front of you?
Yeah, I got the list.
Go ahead and name off the people that are actually the big ones. The big ones.
Well,
Yeah.
starting off, we have Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, Donovan Gleason, Oscar Isaac, Andy Serkis, Adam Driver, Peter Mayhew, Max von Sydow, Kenny Baker, Anthony Daniels, John Boyega, Daisy Ridley, and there's actually a rumored one. The name doesn't sound familiar. Maybe you guys know. It's Simon Fisher Becker.
I haven't heard of that one. I think you were going to say Simon Pegg, because I know he was rumored that he was going to be in
He
it.
was rumored. I remember that, but
I love Simon Pegg. There's no reason for that. There's no
Simon
reason.
Fisher
Let's keep the gimmicks out. That would be a gimmick casting. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? That's what I know. JJ loves him. For some reason, he puts him in every movie he does now. But is he really needed?
I don't know what he would do.
He is a good actor. I think he's kind of typecast himself. I don't think in this day and age nobody really can get typecast. They can all do their own things. However, I think he's the funny man, and I don't really want that.
And you know, it goes back to like what we were saying is like the beauty of this cast. It's relatively unknowns.
I love it,
and it's really cool that
and they're
it's
good
unknowns.
actors.
And they're good
dude.
actors, but they're like relatively unknown, so you can't typecast them.
Yeah,
in
I mean,
any way.
who's the most known? Andy Serkis or whatever his name is, Serka, Golem.
Yeah,
Andy Serkis, yeah.
but no one knows what he looks like practically. Adam Driver. Adam
Yeah.
Driver's pretty big.
He's from Girls.
The biggest one is Max von Sydow.
Yeah.
And
well, I would actually say the biggest one's Harrison Ford. So stupid.
Out of the big three?
Out of the new people, yes, I totally agree. I think who's it? What, Max Van? How do you say his last
Max
name?
van Sydow.
Sydow. Yeah. Okay. Now, Star Wars Rebels. Moving on to Star Wars Rebels, there is, which I'm hoping that because Star Wars Rebels is looking mighty tasty. It is looking pretty good.
Oh, dude,
what
that
did
trailer.
I was happy
I haven't
with it.
seen it, to be honest.
Oh man, you got to check it out.
You gotta check it out.
I
It's
will.
actually really good.
I was happy with the trailer for the most part. I mean, it's a cartoon, so I mean, it's not like I'm excited as much as the Episode 7. However, because this is going to be, they're starting a whole new Star Wars universe, I'm hoping they do some tie-ins to these movies down the road, like characters you may see develop in Star Wars Rebels. Like maybe, hopefully, we'll hear about them in Episode 7, 8, and 9. Like, keep it connected. I want to feel that connection to the world, because that was the best thing about the Star Wars universe in the past. You would see something in a comic book that they briefly mentioned, mentioned in like one of the movies.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example, like IG-88, which I don't think they ever even said his name in the movies, but he spawned so much in the Star Wars universe outside of that main movie. I mean, the bounty hunters themselves, except for Boba Fett, I don't think were ever really mentioned by name in the movies. But they all spawned comic books and all these multiple storylines.
Yeah.
So I hope they stick to that, and they do that specifically with Star Wars Rebels. Since it's so lean now, the Star Wars universe, I think they have room for it.
Well, I think that with Rebels, they want to get the same magic they got with Clone Wars.
Yeah.
I mean, Clone Wars did fantastic.
Yeah, it did.
We might not agree with the first 3 movies, 1,
Right.
2, and 3, but honestly, the good thing that came out of that was Clone Wars. Clone Wars, the animated series, is I always say is a must to watch.
Well, and that's why I was so happy.
I'm trying to get into it.
It's not bad.
I
Get past the first season,
Get
dude,
past
and it gets get in the mic though too. After you get past the first season, the second season becomes a little more dark, a little more serious tone.
Oh,
That's
dude.
what I was looking for, because I've always thought of Star Wars as a little bit dark, a little bit gritty.
This last season too, that's only been released on Netflix, I think.
Yeah,
is completely dark because
I have
it
not had a
deals
chance
with,
to watch it yet.
It
I'm
deals
behind.
with Qui-Gon. It
Yeah.
deals with actually Qui-Gon actually
okay.
showing up and then telling Obi-Wan he needs more training.
Qui-Gon, sir, what's a midichlorian? Shut up.
Shut up.
So Star Wars Rebels, I guess there's a rumor that Jason Isaacs, which I love that guy, is to voice the Inquisitor. It is a rumor at this point, but as fans speculate about the villains in Star Wars Episode 7, we know at least one bad guy created in the post-George Lucas universe. His name is the Inquisitor, and he's a lean, mean, lightsaber-swinging, Jedi-killing machine. In the Disney XD show Star Wars Rebels, set between Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, and Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, he's tasked by Darth Vader to hunt down the remaining Jedi. Now, my only thing with this so far is, listen, we have and you guys jump in here if you think I'm wrong at saying this. Now, the only thing that I'm a little disappointed in, and again, I'm going to wait till it comes out, is why did we have to introduce the Inquisitor? Okay, because Darth Vader is in this time period. We've never seen Darth Vader out in anything new. Like we saw, end of Episode 7, we saw him walk. Ooh, I can't walk. I'm like Frankenstein, and that's all we saw. Like we finally get a chance to see Darth Vader wield his lightsaber with modern technology that we can see him do some hardcore shit. Why are we introducing the Inquisitor? Now, I'm fine with that. I'm 100% okay with the Inquisitor because he's awesome. but Darth Vader better be in it. They can't just say, I just spoke to Darth Vader. And you never saw it. I don't want a Mulder and Scully thing from X-Files where you remember the last season of X-Files where they always talked about Mulder, but you never saw him anymore? Like, I just saw
the last episode.
I just saw Mulder. He's running across. Wait, you saw him like 100 feet away, and you know it wasn't really him. It was probably another actor. You know? So I don't want that. I don't want I just got off the comm link with Darth Vader. Like, that's what they're going to say. Terrible writing right there.
I agree.
That'd be so awful.
But yeah, I agree with you. I mean, it is kind of weird because, I mean, it goes against everything as old school Star Wars fans would know as, like, why is Darth Vader actually... why does he have the Inquisitor? Because technically he shouldn't... If he's a Sith Lord, he shouldn't have the Inquisitor. It should be him that's tasked with getting rid of all the Jedi.
Unless he's doing like a Tyrannus did, and kind of have your own people underneath you. Because it seems like they're always on the edge of wanting to take over their boss and kill their master.
Kill the Emperor.
It seems like none of them are loyal to each other. They all, like, even Emperor, Palpatine was like, have you ever heard of Darth Plagueis the Wise? Or whatever his name was.
Darth Plagueis. Darth Plagueis.
Oh, my God.
Well, I think it's the...
I mean, he even killed his master, supposedly. I mean,
he did. It's just the whole dynamic of, supposedly, if you have one apprentice and one master, then the apprentice should always become better than their master, and then the line will continue to become more powerful as time goes on.
Look at him!
So no, I'm a huge Old Republic.
Well, that's some of the best shit. Dude.
Oh, I love that. So I mean, I've sat and read for hours at a time, just reading up on the history. I just love it. But yeah, it's that dynamic of, okay, we gotta surpass one another to become more powerful and defeat the Jedi, but of course it never happens. But.
Right. Which we're going to get into that too. We're going to talk about the Sith and if it should be in Episode 7. We're going to get that after this next break. Really fast. So the Inquisitor was the first character introduced from Rebels. Since then, we've met the entire remaining cast and their human counterparts. During all that, we have yet to find out who will be voicing the Inquisitor. Now, a rumor, as I was saying, has surfaced that Jason Isaacs of Harry Potter and the Patriot fame will be voicing the character. You guys know who he is, right? He's the guy. He's the bad guy.
Lucius Malfoy.
Yeah. He's a good actor, dude.
Oh, he's an excellent actor.
And his voice is powerful, so he would be a cool voice for the Inquisitor.
Agreed.
And if they wanted to, because he's a relevant actor, if they wanted to somehow put the Inquisitor in Episode 7...
Dude, that'd be really awesome.
That would be such a cool connect.
Yeah, he could actually play that character.
He could.
He could?
Oh, yeah.
No doubt.
He would have the look.
Yeah. He has such a good villain look, man.
He does.
Yeah. So now, what are your thoughts? And then we're going to go to a quick break. What are your guys' thoughts on Star Wars Rebels? I know you haven't seen it, the trailer, Nick.
Yeah.
But David, start with you first. What are your thoughts after seeing the trailer? What are the pros and cons? Give it a review really fast.
The review of the trailer, trailer was actually really good. It was insightful. A lot of people wish that there was more, but from what we got, at least we actually got to see what exactly these characters are going to be. Yeah, they're not like familiar characters. The most familiar character you were probably going to get is Darth Vader, and that's it. Everybody else is going to be relatively new. We might now. A lot of people say we might get like Han Solo, Luke, and Leia somewhere making cameos, but honestly, I'm really psyched about it. At first, I wasn't because I was like going, okay, this doesn't look anything like what we were expecting. But then, like when I started actually watching the trailer more in depth and actually seeing where they're going with it. It made more sense. It made more sense because we're seeing more what's going on behind the scenes during the whole Star Wars storyline. Because if you think about it, all we knew in episodes 5, 6, and 7 was the story around Luke, Leia, and Han. That was it. Everything else was kind of like hinted at.
We've only been, like you're saying, we've only been privy to the Skywalker storylines. Right. That's it. When it comes to like non-books and comics, when it comes to the actual what the mainstream world actually knows of Star Wars,
this one is actually really cool because it actually shows the beginning of the Rebel Alliance. We're going to see how everything, what it took to actually get to the Skywalker storyline.
Right. Yeah. Playing off what you said, David. I think maybe its best pro is also a con, and pro, those who are not privy to comic and book information, those who don't read the books or read any comics or anything.
Which is, let's be honest, most of the moviegoers who don't know what that is.
Don't know what that is.
It'll allow them to be, this is what was going on. This is cool. I get to see something new. I get to figure out what was going on, like David said. But at the same time, con is there's not going to be that much, possibly not as much connect with the rest of the other stuff. Yeah, you won't get that interconnectedness. But
I could see kind of like it going through the same pacing that Clone Wars did. Like the first season was kind of clunky,
trying to finding itself.
It was trying to find itself, and
I think that's kind of every show.
It had those episodes that you're like going, "This is really cheesy and goofy," and I'm expecting that.
I'm hoping to get rid of the whole Roger like thing. Honestly,
dude, I don't know.
I want to get rid of that.
They try to be cute.
They're going to do it with stormtroopers. You just know it.
No, dude,
because they're all clones.
Yeah,
they're all clones. They're going to all do the same thing.
Yeah. Really fast, Dustin. What are your thoughts on the trailer?
I think it's definitely a step in the right direction. I mean, it's good to see a storyline that's going to be telling the untold story, air quotes. And I definitely think the character is going to be in one of the next 3 movies. I mean, I think they're going to try to do it like the Marvel movies and what DC is, attempting to do. Introduce a bunch of characters that the public's not really aware of and give them a backstory before they just, throw them into the mix.
Yeah. I agree with you guys. I think we're all on the same page. I think one thing I really enjoyed about Rebels trailer is I like that some people were complaining about there's a Jedi, and they're like, why do we have to have a Jedi? Can't we do something that doesn't be a Jedi? But I don't think they're reading into what the storyline's about. And it's about a guy who can't just whip out his lightsaber. He can't because he's being hunted by everybody in the galaxy. So to me, it's like a Lone Ranger type mentality, which is what the writers are trying to do. They're trying to bring They're trying to bring back the Western elements that a lot of the inspiration of Star Wars was, which a lot of the samurai films and the Westerns were the inspiration for Star Wars.
Yeah.
So you're bringing back that Lone Ranger type person who can't always whip out a lightsaber. He has to be a gunslinger, which that's why he has a blaster on his hip, and you see him using that. So the fact that we're going to see a guy that can't always use his lightsaber, he can't always resort to it, which I hope is what they do.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a whole new element because we've never seen that before. We've never seen someone almost scared to be a Jedi. And I think hopefully we're going to be able to actually witness that you're in a world where you're being hunted down by the hardest motherfuckers out there. You're being hunted down by Darth Vader, man. He slayed Jedis. Put yourself in that perspective.
He killed younglings.
Yeah, he killed younglings.
And that's what, going off of what you just said, Mike, is like because I've been seeing all of the posts and trolls out there criticizing about that. I'm like going, you guys got to understand. All Jedis right now are scared to death.
Yeah.
They just got annihilated.
Yeah.
They're being hunted.
Oh yeah, they're on the
defense. If you were being hunted, are you going to actually wave your lightsaber around and say, "Come and get me"?
Well, thankfully Yoda and Obi-Wan were able to reset the beacon. That was calling all Jedi, tell them to come home.
Yeah.
So you're telling me they're all afraid?
Yes. Which
Fear
leads to the
leads
dark
to
side.
hate. It leads to the dark side, so maybe they'll all become Sith.
Hey, there you go.
And you know what? That's another thing I hope we see. This guy is a Lone Ranger. He doesn't have a master telling him, you don't feed into your emotions. We're going to see someone maybe a little bit more conflicted, like what made Luke Skywalker interesting. Someone who didn't have, who was more raw. He was being trained very raw. He didn't have the whole, you can't love your sister. You can't love this person. It's a totally different world. And I think hopefully we'll see that in this Jedi. You're going to see more of a regular person rather than a monk, which is what a lot of the Jedis were like.
Yeah.
Also, I'm looking forward to the fact that it's bringing it back to our time period now. When I say the original trilogy, you're seeing the Empire, you're seeing the TIE fighters, you're seeing the Stormtroopers now, and it's going to be interesting to see that because we have not seen anything like that since the original movies.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, so I can't wait to hear the TIE fighter screeching, on my surround sound.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty psyched. On that note, we need to go to a break, and then we'll be right back.
And now we take you to the set of Star Wars standalone movie, John Connor vs. Jar Jar, directed by McGee.
I'm trying to fucking do a thing here and I'm going.
Mr.
Yeah?
You're needed on set? Yes, Jar Jar is causing a scene. You keep talking while the camera's rolling, and Christian's getting really angry. Really angry. I think you should come out.
Yeah, okay. I'll be right there.
You don't fucking understand what it's like working with actors. That's
No,
what that is.
not really, no.
That's what that is, man.
No.
I'm telling you. I'm not asking, I'm telling
No.
you. You wouldn't have done that otherwise.
Well, that smells stinker whiff.
Stay off the fucking set, man. For fuck's sake. Right, let's go again.
Misa back.
I'm gonna fucking kick your fucking ass. You don't shut up for a second, alright? What the fuck are you doing?
Alright, can we just calm down here, everybody? Let's get back to work.
You got fucking something to say to this prick?
Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't actually see what happened.
Well, somebody should be fucking watching and keeping an eye on him.
We're back. Star Wars from the Bacta Tank. You can follow us on Stitcher, Smart Radio. Just search From the Bacta Tank. And add us to your favorites. Leave us a review. Tell us how much you love me, and David, and Nick, and Dustin.
Thank you.
Help us get seen by more eyes. Maybe we can book some interviews from some cast members on set.
Dude, that'd be awesome.
Maybe, I don't know about the cast. It might be on lockdown, you know. But who knows? We might be able to get some interviews with some maybe production staff, production crew. Who knows? But the more reviews you leave, the better chances we get, because we get bigger and bigger with each review. So help us out. Also available on iTunes. Search Bacta Tank. All right, so I want to jump into the possible title for Episode 7. There's a possible Episode 7 title that's been circulating the interwebs, the rumor mill. But first, let's talk about this chance to be in Star Wars Episode 7. Now, this is just another example of... Let me see if I can find this video. This is yet another example of what I think they're doing right this time around. And yes, it is a new age, meaning a lot of things have changed since 2006 when Revenge of the Sith came out. But I like the social media marketing and the tie-ins that they're doing. And now, supposedly, I guess, JJ... Let me see if I can pull this audio up. But JJ Abrams gets on camera, and he talks about... Let me see if I can find it here. It's escaping me. Where is it at?
It's the same video that actually the alien shows up behind him, isn't it?
I'm going to play a little bit of it, but give me a second here.
Oh, Mr. Miyagi? Yeah, Mr. Miyagi on Tatooine.
So it did look like that, huh?
Yeah.
That was awesome.
So I guess they're trying to get, more people involved with everything. And he just is like an example of JJ trying to get people involved in Star Wars and actually doing something from the set, which I thought like made a lot of people happy and kind of feel good. That the first thing I saw in these on the comments was like, oh my God, dude, it's a real set. It's the first like 10 comments that I read last week when I looked at this video for the first time. People were all saying, wow, it's a real set. He's on a real set. There's no green screen. I guarantee you they probably had some green screen, and JJ's like, please, let's get this out of there. No green screen. Everyone hide. Get that out of there.
Yeah, they want to show people the cool sets.
Yeah. So here's the audio from the set.
J.J. Abrams here on the set of Star Wars Episode 7 in lovely Abu Dhabi. All these people around that you hear.
Why do you sound like Charlie Sheen there?
He did.
Oh, my God. I didn't realize that until now.
Abu Dhabi. All these people in lovely Abu Dhabi. All these people around
Winning.
You hear and see are helping us make this movie, and it is an incredible thing. It's just surreal to be here in this amazing place with these incredible people working on this film. Like a lot of you, I've been a Star Wars fan since I was a kid, so it's truly a surreal thing to be working on this movie. I can't believe it, and we're so grateful to all the Star Wars fans out there for their support and their patience that we would like to invite you to be part of the fun here. We want to put you in the movie, in Star Wars. So starting today, we're going to give you a chance to win a trip.
See, how cool is that?
Miyagi.
A trip.
Yeah. For you guys listening at home, in the video, the little guy, there's a little character walking by in costume. So
that's not CGI.
Showing you guys that it's a practical effect. Walking and that whole look and turn was totally an FU, George Lucas. It was like, whoa, look at us.
Yeah, George Lucas, you saying big doo-doo.
To be in the movie. That means you get to come to London, where we're shooting the movie mostly at Pinewood Studios. It's not quite as warm there as it is here. And you get to meet the cast, go behind the scenes, and see the whole movie-making process. But more than that, we'll put you in hair and makeup and wardrobe, and you'll actually get to be in the movie. That's right, you'll be in Star Wars. But the greatest part is that by entering your chance to join us, you'll get to help us launch something else, Star Wars Force for Change. It's a brand new initiative that's dedicated to finding creative solutions to some of the world's biggest problems. It's about helping kids all around the world by supporting UNICEF innovation labs and programs. It's a great thing. You can check it all out on omaze.com/Star
All right. So exciting to have some audio from the set.
And Tiger Blood.
That is very cool.
And so soon to be shooting. Actually, they announced it last month. They're moving into production really fast, which I think they've been shooting. There are rumors that they've been shooting for several months now, just not with all the cast. So, I mean, the fact that they're doing it on set and they're giving us what we want, this is what we need to help us feel good. Because let's be honest, we're the Star Wars fans. We're all a bunch of little babies. We want to be pleased and tickled and fed, breast milk from our mamas. We want to be like, please give us what we want.
Yes.
We want breast milk, JJ.
And we don't want it green.
Yeah. Oh,
dude. And it can't be Carrie Fisher's.
Oh,
that would be dust.
Or Aunt
Wow, 2 in a row.
Or Aunt Peru's blue milk. We don't want that either. So So Star Wars Episode 7. Before we jump into the title rumor, Star Wars Episode 7 top burning plot challenges the producers face. This is an interesting article that I found online about things that could be some issues that they're hoping that the producers and the writers are going to steer clear from. Let's go through this really fast. Do you have that link in front of you as well, Dustin?
I do now.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Star Wars Episode 7 plot will have to face the scrutiny of. You know what? Do you want to read this, David? Because I've been doing a lot of talking. Do you have it in front of you?
I'm trying to pull it up.
All
Maybe
right.
if Dos can read it off.
No,
I just pulled it up. It's
Okay.
on Business Times? Or?
Yeah. That's
okay.
good. Yeah, go ahead and read.
All right, so Star Wars 7 plot will have to face the scrutiny of ardent fans. Oh, gosh, it just ad popped up on me. We'll have to face the scrutiny of ardent fans who have grown up watching the movies and reading the books from the popular franchise. Many of the fans have hardened positions of what should and should not take place in the upcoming movie. Here are the top 5 burning questions that may haunt the producers.
Okay, number 1, Nick.
Oh, number 1 is, should the Sith return?
That's a good question.
Man.
That is very good. David, what is your quick thought process on it? Do we need to go a different route with the story, or should the Sith return?
The Sith should return.
Okay.
Honestly.
And give me a quick why.
Why? Because Star Wars is the whole idea of Star Wars is based on a cyclical nature. Everything has a cycle to it.
Right.
We've already seen the fact that the Jedi fall, the Jedi rise. Well, the Sith have fallen. It's only more interesting to actually see the Sith rise now, and the whole storyline basically revolves around this idea of balance. By the end of Return of the Jedi, everything's out of balance. Yeah, the Jedi's won, but technically that's not a good thing because that means that everything is out of balance now.
Yeah.
So the Sith should come back in some way.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Nick, really brief. Yes, should the Sith come back or should they not come back?
First thing I thought was
in the mic though.
First thing I thought was obviously they should, but that's a difficult question just because I think I'd agree with David actually. I really like the idea of the two forces fighting against each other and this balance, the whole idea of that. So I think. Yeah, they should bring the Sith back.
Dustin, what do you think? Could you guys be easy on the mic? I think you might back away when you're not talking, Dave, because I'm picking up your breathing a little bit.
Right there.
I think I was.
Sorry about that.
That's not a problem. Dustin, go ahead.
Actually, in the beginning, I was going to say no, but due to the fact that I think the Episode 7 is taking place 30 years later, you got to have some Sith.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, that's the only way I think it's going to be interesting again.
I wouldn't mind having a character wielding the dark side.
Yeah.
And using Sith, obviously. Now, do I want their ultimate goal to bring back the Sith? I don't know if I care to see that. I just want to see a rogue dark Jedi. You know what I mean? And maybe bleed over to something. If they were going to do it, it needs to be completely different. We need to actually learn about the Sith religion. I don't want just some guy, some mysterious character who believes in Sith, like we've seen so far. We've never actually learned anything about it. I want to learn about the religion of the Sith. So what I would like to see is a character actually going from being a Jedi or learning the Force, maybe not a full Jedi, and then as he's learning dark secrets, and he's drawn to these dark secrets, and he wants to learn more and more of these Sith teachings, and then it leads him on a quest of some kind to discovering Sith power. And then he discovers the Sith that way. If we return to the Sith, then we need to learn more about it. I don't want just another guy who's a dark Jedi. I'm a master of the Sith. Okay, but what is the Sith? Because I guarantee you, if I asked my mother or my father, who are big Star Wars movie fans, hey, what's the Sith? I don't know, because they never even mentioned it in the original movies.
That's true.
In the credits, he was called a Sith Lord, and that is it.
Yeah.
They never ever said anything dealing with the Sith in the original series, in the original trilogy.
I don't know if it's going to be applicable to this new movie coming out, but I just remembered I was actually reading some of the Star Wars books, and it's after the movies.
Yeah.
It's like 30 years after the movies or something.
The
like
Jedi
that.
Academy.
No. Skywalker's married and he's got kids. And Han has got kids.
Right.
And But the Sith do come back, but not in the way that you expect.
Yeah.
And it deals with actually one of Skywalker's sons, his oldest son, is like
Jason.
he decides I'm going to be this perfect Sith, but I'm going to bring balance to the Force, kind of thing. It's really interesting, but it does explore the whole concept of what it really means to be a Sith and everything. I don't know if it's going to be relevant at all in the movie.
Yeah, well, I know they've retconned everything out of the old stuff.
They retconned, but remember,
but it's in the library.
It's in the library. They can use it.
Right.
They can pull it out and use it. So,
like I do. I pull it out and use it sometimes. Inappropriately.
Oh.
All right, what's number 2, Nick?
Number two is the galaxy at peace?
Okay, and in the paragraph it says, just so to clarify, in Star Wars Episode 6, the top leadership of the Empire were killed, but the political and military structure of the Empire remained intact, which would make sense. Okay, so you destroyed the Death Star and you killed the Emperor. Does that mean the Empire's gone? No.
No.
That's like saying you kill one Taliban leader, the Taliban's up. I guess we're going to go back to feeding camels and shepherding goats.
I'll take care of my goats.
Sheep. Wait, you shepherd sheep, right? Shepherd sheep. So we'll go back to shepherding sheep. No, you're still gonna wage the war.
And remember, I mean, they did that in the Dark Force Rising, where it was kind of like they showed Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Yeah,
Thrawn was still out there, so it was like. He was still a general, and he still led the Empire.
Yeah. Number 3, Nick?
Number 3 is, should Luke have a wife?
No.
No.
I wouldn't. David, do you think he should have a wife?
I would actually like to see it. Maybe even at that point, we see Mara Jade.
Yeah.
He's already married to Mara Jade at that point.
In canon, he does get married to Mara Jade, and he has kids. But I don't know if they'd do that in the movies. I think maybe that's farther ahead of the timeline.
Because it would have to depend on, like, how old are these characters now?
Right.
I mean, if Luke's not married, what the hell has he been doing then this whole time?
Well,
just sitting there like a monk?
I think going to adamandleave.com and, getting their free fetish porn.
The fleshlight saber.
I know.
Or Jawa porn.
Only you, David.
Oh my God, man!
Jawa porn. I don't even want to know what that would be like.
I could get into that. Giggity, giggity.
Cloaks.
Oh,
that's what they sound like.
You can't see anything. All you see is hear sounds and.
Oh man. Okay.
That's the dark side.
Dustin, should Luke be married?
Yeah, I mean, I think they should have Mara Jade in there somewhere, but I think this far along in the story, if they're trying to change it up that much, maybe he was already married and she died somehow.
Oh, like a Rocky V maneuver.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, and he has been.
Like Mara was his second wife or something like that?
Well, you know what?
Their son was Ben Skywalker, though, right?
Yeah. Well, there's Ben and there's...
But we got to remember, we can't rely on any of that information because they're redoing it all. So we can't.
Well, I know that. I know that. I'm just saying they have to rebuild the Jedi somehow. And so far, all we know of is, the Skywalkers. Everybody related to them is going to have force power. So
yeah.
But
you know what I think is that, or you know what I would like to see is, first off, I think as an audience, you know, if they want to be real to life, we're going to think Luke Skywalker is a creepster. If at this point in his life he hasn't been married, so he needs to have a love interest of some type, or some woman that he's talked about in the past that's died. You know, there has to be. He can't be, unless he's fully learned the ways of the real Jedi, how they were, and how they didn't, you know, have possessions or wives, and maybe he chose to live his life that way. And if they decided to portray it that way, then I'm okay with that.
See, I wouldn't be okay with that, though, because it's kind of like, who does he have to learn that from?
Right.
He has no
holocrons. Maybe he found Jedi things, and who knows?
Because, like, I'm like going, there's no one really to teach Luke what it means to be a Jedi, like, during Obi-Wan and Yoda's time.
Yeah.
Because no one's there telling him, oh, we did it this way.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well, can he commune?
So stupid.
That's a good one, though.
Question number 4: Will brand Disney influence a new villain? You know, Disney's takeover of Lucasfilms was followed closely by the fans. Star Wars 7 will be the first movie from the franchise after the takeover. Some fans are concerned that Disney may push the new villain to be more black and white instead of the more complex personalities that fans are used to from the franchise so far.
And I'm telling you right now, that is my one main fear for the Inquisitor.
Really? You think he's just be no real like
no substance?
There's no substance behind him. He's just
a bad guy.
He's a bad guy. He's the Inquisitor.
Well,
He's
Marvel,
basically 2D.
Did Marvel do that with Loki? No, they didn't.
No, they did not.
Look at Pirates of the Caribbean.
You know, I can't think of anything specific, but
Get
I
up in
think
that mic.
I think Disney has been moving. They've been more open to doing
Yeah.
things that are more complex and less black and white lately. I mean, I can't
agree.
name anything, but that's just a general feeling.
I agree with Nick, because they have taken on franchises like Marvel, which is huge. They've taken on franchises like Star Wars now, or Lucasfilm, not just Star Wars, but Lucasfilm in general. I think they know that they cannot put things in the Disney box. and I think we haven't seen that with Marvel. I mean, we've agreed that they've done great with what we've seen so far for the most part.
For the most part, but remember, that's working side by side with Marvel.
Right.
In this case,
well, they're still working side by side with Lucasfilm, which is ran by Kathleen Kennedy.
Kathleen Kennedy, yeah.
So now, if Kathleen Kennedy was a Disney person, and we have Eisenberg, whatever his name is, what's his name? Michael Eisen,
Bob Iger.
Okay, Bob Iger.
CEO.
If we had, you know, a Bob Iger acolyte, you know, from the board of directors, you know, stepping in to run Star Wars, then yes, I'd be afraid for Star Wars. But the fact that Kathleen Kennedy is from the old school days. I mean, dude, her credits for producing is on Indiana Jones. I mean, she's been around a long time. You know, so the fact that she's leading the cause, it gives me faith.
True.
But there's still that fear.
There's still that fear, because it's kind of like, yeah, Disney has done well working with Marvel.
Yeah.
But Marvel's a separate entity. They're like a separate company towards them. So it's like a partnership. Lucasfilm, they bought up Lucasfilm. So Lucasfilm is owned by Disney.
Yeah.
So they're...
You know, I just thought of something, and that was that with Abrams doing the movie... and with the changes he's doing, he's going in practical effects.
Yeah.
Maybe he's gonna do his best to avoid, you know, flat characters too.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, it's not 100% or his control, but
I think that's the whole caveat too. Is like JJ behind the helm. Is he gonna allow a character to be as 2-dimensional, be in his own movie? In his track record, he did well with Star Trek. I will agree, but you know, Khan was kind of flat.
There was a lot of issues with Star Trek from when you break it down. Like, even though I think the regular moviegoers, which is all that really matters in the grand scheme of things,
exactly,
the regular moviegoers enjoyed Star Trek. But when you broke it down to Star Trek fans, a lot of them were like, "Well, JJ did a great job, yes, but the general essence of Star Trek wasn't there. The Shakespearean tie-ins and like stuff, you know, and some of the general themes of Star Trek wasn't really there."
Yeah,
JJ, you know, he wrote a movie. He wrote a movie to appease the audiences, and I think that we're going to get that with Star Wars. So are we going to lose some of the general themes of Star Wars, and are we going to care at this point? Because, listen, I think whatever we get is going to be better than what we had.
Okay, I will agree with that. But
I mean, talk about one-sided. I mean, Darth Maul had no depth.
But he was cool.
He was cool, but he had no depth. I mean,
he
he's
was
like,
not even a character. He was just a face. Really.
Yeah, and then he got chopped in half.
Yeah, and then he got that was the best part.
All right, last one is borrowing elements from the books. The Star Wars universe is rich with material. There are tons of books, comics, and other material from which the producers can borrow heavily and may have to depend on. I don't think they need to depend on them at all because they retconned everything. Meaning, Nick, if you don't know what that means, they did get rid of all the expanded universe. The only thing they kept, Nick, was the original movies, Clone Wars,
yes,
the Clone Wars movie, TV show, and then the upcoming movies, and then Star Wars Rebels will be part of the canon. They're redoing everything. So,
I don't like that.
A lot of people don't.
No. A lot of people don't.
Really a lot of people don't. So I don't think they're going to be borrowing from it. I think they may borrow some names and like we said in the last show, to keep people happy. You may see people in books pop in, but they're going to reimagine them.
But they're going to reimagine them. And
I don't have a problem with them doing that in the movie. If they're already retconned everything, there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah.
But if they want to borrow a cool character and put him in the new movies, I'm okay with that.
But the one thing we also mentioned, Nick, in the last show was the fact that this is kind of a good thing, because if we went into the new movies thinking this is how it should go,
there would be no mystery.
There'd be no mystery to it. And now that we know that, hey, we're gonna get something brand spanking new, we don't know what's gonna happen.
Well, think about that question we just dwelled on,
it's
David.
Kind of fresh.
Well, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, I get that there might be some more room for mystery, but you could still stick to what would have been canon with already written stories and explore a different side of things from a different point of view.
Yeah.
Same story, so it's a completely different experience. You might not even know exactly what's going to happen just because, I mean, you wouldn't have to stick 100%, just the main plot points. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, going with what you said, David, just with the fact that we're thinking, should Luke have a wife? We already know he has a wife if we stuck to the old world, the old universe stuff. Whereas now we're kind of like, we don't know. And I personally like knowing, now that it's been done, if someone asked me, dude, should we retcon the entire universe? I'm like, no, hell no. But now that it's been done, the Band-Aid's been ripped, and I've already wept. So stupid. Like, I'm like, you know what? I can see the good side of it. Dude, imagine the decision-making behind it. It probably was a difficult process.
It's a difficult process, but I mean, just thinking on a practical level,
it makes sense.
It makes more sense because, like, just like what I said, freedom. If Luke wasn't married, what has he been doing for these past years?
And they can explore that.
It's like, okay,
exactly.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, I think that the books that were there is just some amazing storytelling already there.
Oh yeah.
So it's a little sad to see it go.
All right, we need to go to a break, and then we're going to jump into the possible rumor on the title of Star Wars, and we'll debate whether we think it's a good one or a bad one or whatever. So we'll be right back.
You don't know the power of the dark side.
Shady, I'm chopped liver. Well, if you want shady, this is what I'll give you. A little bit of weed mixed with some hard liquor, some vodka that'll jumpstart my
heart. Dude, what the hell are you doing?
Dude, not much? Jesus.
I thought you'd be doing something normal. Like hanging out with a girl or, I don't know, not being here. Are you playing that stupid-ass game again? You've got to be shitting me. You seriously have to let go of that nerd-ass behavior.
Well, I think Star Wars is better than this world.
Holy shit. Seriously? Next thing I know, I'm just gonna walk in here and you're building a model of the aluminum Century Falcon, whatever the fuck it is, I don't care.
It's the Millennium Falcon, you dick.
It's just a stupid movie. Grow the fuck up.
It's not just a movie.
What the fuck?
It's a lifestyle.
All right, we're back. Star Wars From the Bacta Tank. Available on Stitcher and iTunes. Search From the Bacta Tank. I guess there's a rumor going around that the movie, episode 7, is going to be titled, you ready, guys? Drum roll, please. The Ancient Fear.
I'm sorry. I can't hold it. I can't hold it.
The Ancient Fear. That's the rumor, and it's been going around all over the place. Now, it could listen. Star Wars. Star Wars has always changed their titles. Now, the Ancient Fear? If it is that, then it could, then it could be what I was talking about, and it may be something like dealing with the old school Sith. Like the actual Sith race.
That'd be cool, but oh my god, man. I just had flashbacks when I saw this in the notes. I was like, Attack of the Clones.
Oh, yeah. Hey, dude, can you turn your fan off? I forgot to remind you. I'm sorry.
I mean, I was thinking, I can almost hear this disgusting trailer in my head. Star Wars.
Same here. I was like going,
Star Wars, the Ancient Fear, incest.
I do.
To keep the Jedi race going, Leia and Luke had to get down.
Oh god, that is an Ancient Fear.
Well, you know what? Do we? I don't know. Okay, let's look at besides Revenge of the Sith. Was any of the new titles really that cool?
Empire Strikes Back was
no, the new ones. Phantom Menace was kind of like when I first heard that. Even this was back during the time when I was amped on Star Wars before the dark time, before the rebellion. Like when I was happy, about Star Wars. When I heard Phantom Menace, I was kind of about it. I'm like, that doesn't sound like Star Wars.
The Phantom Menace kind of sounds like finding a skid mark in your underwear.
Oh, Jesus. Or like a fart. That's the Phantom Menace. Like, where is that damn smell coming from? Or like if you left something bad in the refrigerator. It's the Phantom Menace. It's the Phantom smell. How do you figure it out? Attack of the Clones, I wasn't too about just because the fact that it kind of feeds into the old cereals and the old pulp.
That's the thing. They kept saying it. It's like Lucas kept saying, "Oh, I'm doing this for my love for the ancient, the old cereals," and I was like, "Still, there's things that work back then."
I agree. I totally agree.
They don't work now.
Yeah. So what is it? I already forgot. It's so like anticlimactic. I already forgot the name of it. Oh, the Ancient Fear. Ancient Fear. So that's the rumor. I don't know how real it is, but I mean, let's do our own names. I mean, how hard can we come up with our own star? I bet you we can come up with better names for episode 7 without even knowing the plot. David, your name for episode 7.
I'm going to be honest. I've always wondered why people have to make this so complicated. Just call it Star Wars 7. Episode 7.
But you got to have a title. At this point, you got to have a title.
No, not really. You don't need a title. It's Star Wars.
Well, you do now. I mean I agree that you don't need a title, but I mean, you got to now. I mean, you can't just call Star Wars. You're going to become like 2 for Star Wars. Like, which Star Wars?
If you want,
I would be that dick at the ticket counter. I'm like, what Star Wars, dude? Phantom Menace? Because that one hasn't been in the theater for like 10 years.
10 years. I mean, if I had a choice, okay, fine. Go with if you're gonna say like there was one that was tossed around that was okay. New Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Star Wars Episode 7, New Dawn. That actually sounded cool.
Okay, so that's your title. What about yours, Dustin? What's yours?
I was gonna say Dawn of the New Republic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something time that actually explains what the time period is.
Well, let's see. The New Republic has been around for a while, though, now. Probably for 30 years, let's say. So I don't know if that would work, the title, although I do like that. I would just call it something very simple and dark, like Star Wars, like an Old Hope. And it's Luke again.
The bearded Hope.
I don't know. But I agree. The name should be more simple. And yet, people can say the Ancient Fear is simple, but
it's like when JJ did Star Trek 2, Into Darkness. What does that have to do with anything?
Yeah. Well, look at the names for the original trilogy. It's it's also fitting. Okay, like Empire Strikes Back. It's very simple,
yes.
and it talks about it gives you what the movie's talking about. Okay, kind of clues you in. Revenge of the Sith, it clues you in. Attack of the Clones is like, Attack of the Clones, are they good or bad? It makes you sound like they're bad guys, but the clones were actually good guys at this time.
Yeah.
So it kind of, it doesn't fit. Phantom Menace, who's the Phantom Menace? Oh, Palpatine, but he's not, because we already know who he is.
Not much of a Phantom.
I'll be watching your career with great address.
Oh, God.
Creepy eyes.
With the creepy eyes.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of people posted underneath this article of what they thought it should be called. Would you like me to read some of these?
Yeah, go for it.
Star Wars does Episode 7. Porky's 2.
So stupid.
The Return of the Cash Cow. Return of the Jedi. The Quivering Anus.
Here,
Return of the Old Fogies.
Hold on real fast. Don't stop reading for a second. Let me get you some music.
Okay. Star Wars does Episode 7. Porky's 2. The Return of the Cash Cow. Return of the Jedi. The Quivering Anus. Star Wars Episode 7. Return of the Old Fogies. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. Star Wars Episode 7. The Retread and the Reheat, the Rerun. Star Wars Episode 7. Not another feckin' Death Star. Star Wars Episode 7. Lucas buys a continent. Jar Jar in a jar. Star Wars Episode 7. Grumpy old Jedis. I can't believe it's not Star Trek 7. Dude, where's my Death Star? Oh, the rest of them are just filthy.
That's so funny.
Leave it to the trolls of the internet.
Gotta love them.
Sometimes they're good.
Sometimes they're good. They come up with some doozies.
Revenge of the Shit. The whole final chapter.
Oh man, come on, say it again.
The Revenge of the Shit. The all anal final chapter.
Oh man, maybe you can get that at Adam and Eve.
Oh.
All right, let's move into this, dude. This is an interesting article. Can you open up the when could we see the first Star Wars Episode 7 trailer, David?
Okay.
And open that up. I'd like to have you take us through that, because this is something I have been looking forward to. Is like, when are we going to get the trailer? When are we going to get the
Let me just bring it up because I actually...
All right, so this is something that a lot of fans, I mean, back in the day, people went to go see movies just because they wanted to see a trailer, you know, which is so nonsense. That's before you can find almost every trailer now on the internet. But people would go, I remember, I was the one that did that as well. I would go see movies I would never see just so that I could see a trailer that was announced it was going to be playing with this movie. So on that note, David, let's start with this Star Wars Episode 7. When can we expect to see a Star Wars trailer release date?
All right. First, it says up here that there's a disclaimer. This is not a news report. There's a bit of research of fan speculation based on fun conversation I had at dinner over the weekend. Let's see. Okay, Star Wars fans, we're just under 550 days until Star Wars Episode 7 hits the big screen. The anticipation is killing me. Over the weekend, a couple of friends wondered out loud when we might see the first Star Wars Episode 7 trailer. So let's take a look at the very possibilities and briefly examine how movie marketing works. The first teaser trailer for Star Wars Episode 1, Phantom Menace, hit with Meet Joe Black on November 13th, 1998. About 6 months before the May 1999 release of the film. The full trailer was attached to The Wing Commander. Oh, God, that was a horrible movie.
I remember that. I did that. I watched Wing Commander.
The Pilgrims.
It was a horrible movie. Released on March 12th, 1999. The teaser trailer for Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, was attached to Monsters, Inc., released to November 2nd, 2001. Again, about 6 months before, the May 16th, 2002 trailer was attached to another Pixar film, The Incredibles, which was released November 5th, 2004, about 6 months before the movie's premiere. So with that information, one could assume that the first Star Wars Episode 7 teaser trailer would likely be released about 6 months before the film's December 18th, 2015 release.
Oh, snap.
This would put the target date May to June 2015.
Because it's coming out during Christmas, so we got the whole summer season to promote.
And the funny part is, the first movie they put there, I think it's going to happen at that one.
Oh, I think so too.
Here's the list of the big movies being released in those months. We have Avengers: Age of Ultron, Far from the Maddening Crowd, Untitled Reese Witherspoon Sofia Vergara's comedy.
Oh, it could be that one.
It's definitely that one.
It could be that one.
Mad Max, Fury Road, which I'm really psyched about.
Yeah.
Pitch Perfect 2, Pixels.
Easy on the popping.
Sorry. Spy, Tomorrowland, Monster Trucks.
That's all in May.
That's all in May.
That's if they stick to the. That's probably would make more sense if they actually were to go with those ones in May. But now here's the June releases.
And the June releases, you have the Bureau of Otherworldly Operations, the BOO, San Andreas, Entourage, Jurassic World, The Fantastic Four, Inside Out, Ricky and the Flash, and Ted 2.
Yeah.
Often trailers are released for films.
That's kind of a weak month.
It is a weak
right?
month, actually.
Like, okay, well, you have Jurassic World and Fantastic Four, but I mean...
But, dude, there's not high expectations for those two movies.
Yeah.
No.
And
so let's put some money where we think it's going to be released. Next year, next summer, around this time. Let's guess. David, which one do you think is going to be released with?
Avengers. It's perfect.
Okay.
Because it's like...
And if you're wrong, you have to come into the studio for that show naked.
Shit, I'll do that for
would
free.
have to suffer that, man. Are you okay with that?
No homo. Never mind. Never mind.
No.
Prank caller.
Prank call.
Okay, so you think it's Avengers?
Yes.
Dustin.
Ooh, either Entourage or Jurassic World.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's going to come out in June. So.
Okay, I'm thinking May. I think they're going to want to piggyback it with one of theirs, which would be Avengers.
Yeah, that's what I think.
That would make sense to me. It is May though, which would make sense to the other ones, right? They were released in May. Let me think. June. Is there anything else? The Fox. It's definitely not going to be with Fox at this point.
And dude, if you think about it,
it could be with. You know what? Dustin might be right. It might be with Jurassic World, which is Universal.
Yeah.
And they work in marketing campaigns with Disney. So,
but if you think about it, the marketing would actually be perfect if it was for Avengers because that's May 1st, right?
Yeah.
Right after that is May the 4th.
That would make sense. And they release it online on May 4th.
Release it on May 4th.
Interesting. That's a good point. Now,
I changed my bet.
Okay, now on that note, do you guys think they're going to do? I kind of want them to. The only thing I want them to steal from Marvel that I'm really, besides that they do a pretty good job, I wouldn't mind them giving us something post credits.
Oh, you mean like what they did?
With all the Marvel movies, they give us something like that. Would be kind of cool to give us something post credits at the end of Star Wars movies. Would you guys
like
be
a
okay?
nice little teaser?
I would be okay with that because it would be a complete surprise to the audience.
But do you think it would take away too much from the Star Wars feel and give you, this is really like Marvel and Disney now?
Dude, they did it with Spider-Man. With Spider-Man and X-Men.
Okay.
They did that with Spider-Man and X-Men.
Because I would be okay with it.
And I'd be okay. And everyone said, hey, it was really cool.
Yeah. Dustin, what about you? You think that'd be kind of cool?
Yeah, I think a nice little teaser at the end, just like David was saying. Yeah.
Like a little spin-off. For the spin-off, maybe standalones? That'd be kind of cool.
Oh,
that'd be cool.
Yeah. Well, because exactly a year from that date, isn't the standalone coming out? Because they want to do every year, they want to have some Star Wars movie come out. So I'm assuming they would have something, like a title sequence or, somebody saying something. Who knows? Anyways, okay, so we get something new that we just got announced is standalone news. Let's jump into this. We're getting new directors for each episode, it seems. That's been confirmed because that's something we've been talking about. Like, is JJ going to direct the entire trilogy, which is what I would like me personally, if I had to choose, I would go with that option. I would like JJ just to kind of put his mark on the entire franchise so there's no like odd displacement of style, which you get sometimes when you change directors in the middle of a franchise. You get that a lot with Harry Potter. You get some real shit versions, and sometimes you look at the best Harry Potter movies, and they were the ones directed by the better directors.
Yeah.
And I'm like, JJ, I have faith in JJ. I know what he can do, and I would like him just to stay with it. However, they announced just actually a couple hours ago, Dustin brought this to my attention, they directed that, is it Ryan or Rian?
I'm not sure, man.
Let's just say Rian. Rian Johnson will direct the new film, Episode 8. and write a treatment for the third. So it's basically what JJ's doing. JJ has written the script for episode 7 and a treatment for episode 8. And then now Rian Johnson, who's directed Looper, and his first movie was actually Brick, which is a fantastic movie. If you've never seen it, it's awesome. One of the best films I've seen on my top 10. Directed that, and he will do the treatment for episode 9. Now, there's a few reasons why they would be doing that, and dealing with what I just said about the styles, the differences in styles. Now, if each director is writing a treatment for the follow-up, that might be smart because they're forcing them to kind of keep their original
idea going.
Yes.
And it helps keep continuity going.
Yes.
If I had something special going on in this movie, you got to keep in mind when you do your movie, that has to tie in.
You can't do a Superman 2 maneuver where the director goes in and changes the entire idea of what this director had.
Exactly. Or Blade Runner.
Right. Yeah. So it's a smart move, I think, that they're doing that. Now, the second director... Now, do you guys... Rian Johnson, have you guys seen Looper? I've never seen Looper.
Looper is the one with
Josh... what's his name? Gordon-Levitt, whatever his name is.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah.
And Bruce Willis, isn't it?
Yeah, and then Rian Johnson also did The Brick, which is also with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, which is phenomenal. It's a film noir. It's great. Have you seen it before, David?
I haven't seen Brick. I saw Looper.
See Brick.
Really?
Yes.
Because Looper, for me, was actually really good. I actually liked Looper.
I heard it was good. I just never had a opportunity to see it. So he'll be doing that. Then on the standalone news, moving in, we have Gareth Edwards. He will be directing the first standalone film. It has been confirmed with a screenplay by Gary Weta, I believe you say his name.
Yes.
And now these guys are relatively unknowns up until recently. Gareth Edwards is the director of Godzilla, correct?
Godzilla and Monsters.
So he definitely knows what he's doing when it comes to big budget flicks. I had my issues with Godzilla, but this is Star Wars, and I doubt he's gonna have full 100% creative control.
Probably not. That's why I was wondering is you brought up a good point. Each director writes a treatment for the following film.
Mm-hmm.
So how does this work for the standalone films? I mean, does Gareth Edwards have to keep in mind? Okay, this is going on in the main.
Of course, but that I don't think is the job of any one director. It's the job of the new department they set up that handles the Star Wars expanded universe, the new expanded universe. You remember in our last show we discussed how they're basically putting an entire department together that all they do is sit there and catalog and put in dictionaries the new terms, the new characters, and then from there they'll figure out what they can and can't do and how to keep everything connected.
Okay, that would make sense then, because that's why I was you brought up a good point about each director doing their treatment to make sure continuity sticks. Would the standalone movies be a problem with this? Because I just thought about it. That's going to be a continuity nightmare if standalone movies come out of nowhere and then all of a sudden, how does this fit into this movie?
Well, going back again, the only example I have, and that's why I keep going back to, is Marvel, and they've done a pretty decent job with the things that Marvel's in charge of.
Yes,
they've done a pretty good job keeping everything consistent with all the films, and I would love it. That's one thing I love, that Thor, everything that happened in Avengers is talked about in Thor, or everything that happened in Avengers is talked about and actually creates emotional issues for a character in Iron Man 3.
Yeah,
I love that. I love that Robert Downey Jr.'s character is a human being, and he was mentally affected by the events that happened in Avengers. And then it made for a better story and character development for Iron Man 3. So I hope they do that with Star Wars. It'd be awesome to have characters like something that you would see maybe in this movie, and it directly affects the universe of the standalone film. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Then you have the next one that just got announced the other day, Josh Trank, I believe that's how you say his name, and he's also going to direct a standalone Star Wars film. Now, Josh Trank, I have no idea what he's done.
I was about to ask you, that name sounds familiar?
He's another up-and-comer, newcomer. He's done, in addition to the episodes of the new Star Wars trilogy, Lucasfilm continues to development of multiple standalone movies that will offer new stories beyond the core saga. The newest director is Josh Trank. Let's see here. He has done, Trank states the magic, Chronicle. is what he's done.
Awesome.
Oh yeah,
that was an awesome movie.
That was a good movie.
It was pretty cool, visually too. Which
it was a good superhero movie.
Yeah, I liked it. So they're bringing in some hard hitters, man. Some guys that definitely have some talent, no doubt. None of the movies have been confirmed of what they're doing. So we don't know what each standalone movie is actually going to be and what they're going to direct. There has been rumors, the Boba Fett. There's been rumors of a Rogue Squadron movie or a Red Squadron movie, but we still don't know. We just know the team behind them. That's it.
You know what, man? I do like the fact that the directors that they're getting are heavy hitters, and they're people that are doing big projects now. They're not aiming for like the big names like a Kevin Smith or because you remember when this first started, there was so many names being tossed around, like Kevin Smith doing a movie, Quentin Tarantino doing a movie, and
oh my God,
I don't know about that.
I can't really see.
Yeah.
The funny part is if they get like a big director like that, those directors' styles in Star Wars just wouldn't fit.
It wouldn't fit, and I would feel that they're selling out because I want to see. I love both those directors, and I want to see them do their movies with their style. I don't want to see them direct something. There's no point. Like, why do it? So, did I cut you off by accident, David? Were you done? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have actually, you know what? There is the thing with Lawrence Kasdan is kind of like dropped.
It's
like
weird.
He was supposed to be doing a spinoff at one point, and now he hasn't been officially announced. So that might not even be true at all now.
Well, it's just like what we just said. I mean, they're going away from actually the big, well-known big names, and getting these names that basically are just up and coming, or they made a big splash. Let's get them right now while they're hot.
And that's what they did with Marvel too. Like they're all low budget people for the most. I mean, Jon Favreau was a well-known independent film director. He did Elf. I mean, his biggest thing at that point, and Jumanji the sequel, whatever it's called, the one with the house that floats in the sky. I mean, dude, his career wasn't exactly lighting the world on fire at that point. He was brilliant with Swingers, but at that point, he was really pretty much not a household name. So what they did with Iron Man, bringing him on, made him a household name. And then you have same thing with the director that did the Thor movies. They're not going to the go-to directors of like, oh, this guy's famous, let's get him.
I mean, probably also you could even say that with Josh Whedon. When they got Josh Whedon. Josh
Whedon is known, and he's a very popular within the fandom, but he isn't a household name.
He's not a household name, yeah.
Yeah. So on that note, another break, and then we'll come up and we're going to talk about some video games, and that'll be it for the show. We'll be right back.
Almost every day, I see some meme on Facebook about how a stormtrooper can't shoot. I mean, it's getting really out of hand. I mean, firstly, it's just not true. And secondly, it's just racist. That's like saying all black people are good basketball players. Or all rednecks like to go fishing and have sex with their mothers. And then stuff them under the bed, roll them under the bed, and roll them out for later. I mean, or you can even say it's like that all Jawas are short, panhandling scavengers that are always looking for a handout. Or that all Hutts look the same. Stop with the stereotypes. Stormtrooper bashing needs to stop. Have you ever stopped to consider that maybe we're just firing warning shots? Maybe we don't like to murder people. Maybe we don't like to shoot people. Maybe we like to scare people a little more. It's just like what David Schwimmer said. You can be funny without making fun of someone else. Treat people the way you want to be treated.
Hello, everybody. We're back. Star Wars from the Bacta Tank. Catch us on Stitcher and iTunes anytime, anywhere on your Stitcher app. Get our show beaming directly to your dome via mobile phone or mobile device. Just search Star Wars from the Bacta Tank or just the Bacta Tank on your Stitcher app. That's my alarm here. Sorry.
Okay, I thought I heard something.
No, yeah, it was an alarm telling me we only have a few more minutes left on this. So, all right, so Star Wars-related video game news is what we're going to jump into. Now, the biggest news. Now, Dustin, do you want to announce this? I mean, the biggest news right now is what in the video game world for Star Wars?
Star Wars Battlefront 3.
Yeah. And I'm not a big video game guy like I used to be, but dude, I'm so glad that the first major game that they announced is Battlefront 3.
Yeah, a war game. I love Battlefront. Battlefront is like one of those franchises for Star Wars that's a constant. It's a constant thing. It's like Rogue Squadron practically, even more popular than Rogue Squadron. Wouldn't you say, DOS?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, me and David were talking about this earlier off the air. Well, we both watched the E3 conference, and EA put on a grand show, but it was lacking in a lot of ways.
It was the ultimate ball tickling, wasn't it?
Oh, my God, it was a feather on the nuts.
Did it feel good, though?
I don't know, man. What they basically showed was how they're making it, and you were talking about that earlier, how they're on props.
Is this EA that's doing Battlefront?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And EA's entire presentation was nothing but a bunch of ball tickling. They were showing us basically a preview of when we might see a preview for the game.
And that was it. And it was like they were like bringing out props, and they literally put all of like these Star Wars props in their offices just to show the fans, hey, we're really trying to actually do a Star Wars game. Don't worry, we have you covered.
And the guy who's talking, I was like, it was such an amazing experience to be able to work with all these props for our new show. What are you doing with them? and you know how I feel about the Star Wars games. I mean, I say 1313. It's like a shadow and a whisper. You got Battlefront 3. It's going to happen. It's definitely in the works, and it looked amazing. But there was no gameplay. There wasn't even a hint of the gameplay. There was just the scenery and what they hoped to make. So it was a teaser of a teaser. They're saying, we're showing you this now, and there should be a preview of the game in 2015.
In 2015 for the next, I think they said for the next E3, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think the reason why they can't really show too much, I guess they could show some of the gameplay, but you got to remember where they're coming from with the video. And I could totally be off my rocker on this statement, but think about the what they're going through for video games. Okay, now something that Marvel has not had to do is they can make a Marvel video game and it has nothing to do with Star Wars or with the canon, with Marvel canon. It's not going to mess up anything. You could do a movie about, Iron Man, and you could do this cool storyline, but in the end, those video game developers can do whatever the fuck they want. It doesn't matter because they don't connect. It isn't like Star Wars where everything is connected by canon. So with the video game world, one reason why you might have not seen nothing is because they don't know yet where they're going to be fitting in the storylines, because this is something that Marvel hasn't had. They have no real experience yet with this new team. Yeah. Because Marvel, they've done movies, they've done some comic books that tie in, but for the most part, they only have to worry about one movie every year. That's it. With Star Wars, they have to worry about video games, books, comics, TV shows. So this is a whole new world to them. So they may not even know what their story is yet, or what they can talk about.
That's not the point, man. Just like you said earlier, us Star Wars fans, we need to be nurtured. Yeah. Okay, and
we need not blue milk. We need real milk.
Yeah, this is like holding the bottle in front of your face and just spraying it in your eyeballs. Like it's.
I can't see my eye, R2, my eye.
What a drag.
But you know what? But Mike brings up a good point, though, DOS. I mean, in video games, the one problem in video games, especially with what E3 had to do, or EA has to do, they had to probably throw out a ton of past work that was already done.
Oh, you imagine that?
I'd be so furious.
Because, when they when Disney closed down LucasArts, they initially just shut down all production on Star Wars 1313, and then
don't you dare say its name.
They shut the blast doors.
They shut the blast doors on it. But
chopped it in half.
EA
on Harrison Ford's leg.
EA probably is like looking at that, going, "Well, we don't have any gameplay footage because the gameplay footage that's out there we can't use."
Yeah, that sucks. But I get where you're coming from, man. Like if you're especially because you're hardcore into video games, you want to see what they have planned. Now, that being said, from a filmmaker side of things, I'm going to play this video. It's actually pretty cool, some of the things they show, but Dustin's 100% right. They don't show anything dealing with the gameplay. Nope. At the very end, they show you a scene that's probably, I'm 99% sure, is from the video game. And it looks pretty damn cool, but it's just a guy in a speeder taking off with a bunch of blaster fire around him.
Yeah.
But the process that they're doing, the getting involved with these games, for those of you that are not in the know, this isn't some. I'm sure they're not the only video game developers that do this, but this shows you how much development goes into video games nowadays. And here's the audio.
This game that, as fans, we've all dreamt of playing. To stay as true to the films as possible, we went back to where it all began. Visiting the Lucas archives to capture the actual models and props used in the movies was an incredibly emotional experience.
So they're scanning. They're going to be scanning all these props into their computer systems, into their digital libraries, so that they can borrow from them and make 3D renders of these props, so they can use them in their video games.
So they're completely detailed, down to the detail. This is what we see in the movies and everything else. We're going to see in the video games.
Right. They didn't go and recreate their own version of Han Solo's blaster or how a speeder should look like. They're actually using what their original props, everything about it.
And that's awesome.
Yes, it is, Dustin.
So much love and detail in these pieces that we want to get into the game. But to immerse players in iconic Star Wars battles will take more than just...
I think it's funny that they actually went to the snow, and you see them in snow clothes.
Yeah. And I think that was actually freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Just authentic weapons and vehicles. We went to the original movie locations, not just...
They're acting out scenes and then capturing it, which is kind of cool.
To capture the environments, but the emotions they invoke as well. The early results are truly spectacular.
And so far, Dustin, not one bit of video game footage.
None.
It is kind of a gimmick, though. They have a Boba Fett toy next to all their toy. Like they have a video. One guy working in a video game has like a Boba Fett stand-up toy, and then the other one has like a speeder bike and like
you might as well.
Oh yeah,
you might as well be holding a feather. I'm telling you, man.
It is a little bit of a gimmick, dude. They're trying to look, guys. Look, our whole office is designed to
look what we're doing. You don't know about.
Yeah.
We have an experienced team, an extraordinary collaboration with Lucasfilm,
and we all have Han Solo toys on our desk,
and some of the best technology in the industry.
Why does that ending to the theme, always make everything sound cool? That ending, dude, the
music itself.
You imagine putting that part at the end of sex.
But above all, it is our passion for...
It just makes anything better. Like, hey, by the way, Mike, you have to work, an extra shift today.
But above all, it is our passion for Star Wars.
It just makes everything better.
Yeah, man, you could show me a box full of dog shit and play that theme, and I'd be like, awesome.
Oh my god, it's such an awesome piece of shit.
Dude, seriously.
But above all, it is our passion for Star Wars that will bring this legacy to life like never before. And as someone once said, do or do not. There is no try.
And that's probably why they didn't give us any actual video game footage, because they had none. So either do or do not.
Yeah.
And you see that the thing is that for people out there that don't know how E3 usually goes, these companies do videos like these. So you have to hold it with a grain of salt what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because when I was watching this originally and I sent it to you guys, I was going, this reminded me when I saw the Aliens Colonial Marines, the video that they had for Aliens Colonial Marines, the video game at one of the E3s, looked phenomenal. They did everything. They took all the props, took everything, took renders of everything. Video came out. It is the biggest piece of shit game you could possibly get.
That sucks.
Yeah, I saw that.
And it was I'm looking at this going, the music, everything, the passion is there. but give us some gameplay footage. Just like what you said, Doss. This is like a ball tickle. You don't know what's going to happen in the end.
Well, man, I was watching it live on IGN. I was on the edge of my seat. As soon as I saw the very beginning of this video, I was just like, oh, this is going to be awesome. Fuck!
It's like,
what's in the box? What's in the fucking box?
Oh, man, that's funny. Listen, I have faith there's going to be some pretty cool video games, and some of these video games are going to make me go buy consoles. You know, I mean, I've already slowly, my son got, my brother gave my son his old Xbox, the 360, which I've never wanted video games in this house for the past 5 years because I'm too busy. Like, I don't want it in the house because I will play. And sure enough, I've started playing, and there goes 3 hours of my time, which is nothing when it comes to gameplay. But I waited 3 or 4 hours. I make myself play. Like, listen, I'm going to play every Wednesday with my son. We'll play something. So now that I'm back in it, I'm probably going to end up buying something as soon as a game's released.
Yep.
So
also, to make you feel better, Doss, there was a rumor that 1313, the reason why it's been shut down and everything, there's talk that 1313 there was a rumor that it might get turned into a movie, one of the side movies.
Get the fuck out of here.
That was one of the biggest rumors I saw, like I think last week. Like it was on a forum for Star Wars, and someone posted this up saying that the news on it, that Disney has been saying that we're going to release that game, just not yet. So
I don't know, man.
Saying if 1313, maybe 1313's a standalone movie, and they're going to release the video game with the movie.
That would be cool. I just feel like if I click on the link that goes to that, it'll just have a picture of a giant pink fucking feather.
Oh, man, that's funny.
Why does it have to be pink? I don't know why I said that.
All right, we need to go. Thank you, guys. We'll be back in a few weeks. I don't know, maybe 2-3 weeks. Look for us on Stitcher and iTunes. Later.
May the Force be with you.
Lighters.
Thank you for listening to From the Bacta Tank. And From the Bacta Tank is executive produced by Michael Flores and Dustin Lucas. Hosted by Michael Flores, David Zabal. You can find out more about our show by going to www.fromthebactatank.com. You can also find us on Twitter at FromBactaTank, as well as Facebook, facebook.com/FromTheBactaTank.